George Holden, a professor of psychology, explained that 70 to 90% of parents hit or slap or spank their children. This is a large percentage of parents that are using physical punishment as a source of discipline. There are 4 risks involved that I'm going to speak about today that are involved with physical punishment used as a form of discipline. The first risk that is involved is, what are we teaching children? When we're using physical punishment as a form of discipline, what exactly are we teaching them? We're teaching them that violence is okay. We're teaching them that if they become frustrated, angry, or they don't want somebody to do something, that they should hurt them. But that shouldn't be what we're teaching them. They're learning that it's okay to hit people, and they're learning that it's okay to use violence. We're teaching them that this underlying message without even realizing that parents are teaching them that. Isn't it ironic that a parent would spank their child for hitting their brother? We're teaching them it's not okay to hit by hitting. So the first risk that we're teaching is that violence is okay. To go along with that, the second risk is that not only do we teach them that violence is okay and it's okay to hurt others, but we're also giving them a fear. They're instilling a fear upon them. Parents who use physical punishment as a form of discipline instill fear into their child because the child is no longer worried about what they did wrong, but more so about the pain that is being inflicted upon them by their parent. They don't worry about what misbehavior they did. They're more worried about what's happening to them at that time. So it's important to realize that we're not improving their behavior when we use physical punishment excuse me, as a form of discipline. We're actually just instilling the fear in them. They're not learning right from wrong. So it's important to see that the first risk of teaching them that hitting is not okay is associated with the fear that we're inflicting in them. So, in addition to fear, Dr. Andrew Krogan-Kaler, Associate Professor of Social Work at University of Michigan, came to the conclusion that spanking can increase antisocial behaviors. These antisocial behaviors can include aggression, anxiety, depression, crime, bullying, etc. Now, we're not saying that every child who is spanked is going to have these antisocial behaviors. It can depend on many different things, even just the amount of physical punishment that is being inflicted upon that child. It could be anything like that. So, there's an increase in these antisocial behaviors in children who are physically punished. It occurs mostly during the preschool school age children and can go all the way up to adulthood and past. But some people will only have it through their school age, and then they will drop off at adulthood. So as you can see, there are many risks involved. The fourth risk is one of the most important risks, is that the risk of spanking can cross the line into abuse. Charity Clark works for a social work company, and she said that spanking is like a gateway drug. Not every child who gets spanked is going to be physically abused, but almost every child who is physically abused, their parents started out with spanking. So where is the line? There's no definitive line for parents to follow where spanking crosses into physical abuse. Parents get to decide for themselves what they think is reasonable and what they think is physical force or just a physical abuse or just physical punishment. And so there's always that risk that spanking can lead to abuse because of the anger associated with it. When there's anger associated with it, then that anger can always get out of control and lead into physical abuse. So now that we know those 4 risks, the fear, the teaching of violence being okay, the antisocial behaviors, and physical abuse, what should we do about it? What can parents do? A lot of parents don't know any other ways to discipline their children. They don't know any of the non-physical forms of discipline that they can use. And so it's important for parents to educate themselves on what they can do to use non-physical forms of discipline. Some of these include timeouts, Rewards or praise for positive behavior, loss of privileges or items, and also having the punishment fit the crime. For example, if a child isn't sharing their toys, then they shouldn't be playing with the toys. So those are just some examples of non-physical forms of discipline. These non-physical forms of discipline can be just as effective, if not more effective, than the physical forms of discipline. Another thing parents can do is calm themselves down before they provide any type of discipline. Because, like I said, a lot of times spanking comes from anger. The parents are acting out of anger. And so if a parent can calm themselves down, then they can think about other ways that they can discipline their child in order to get their child to realize right from wrong. President Hinckley said, "I'll be forever grateful for a father who never laid a hand in anger upon his children. He had the wonderful talent to let them know what was expected of them and to give encouragement in achieving it." Close quote. So I encourage everyone to strive to be like President Hinckley's father was, to learn new skills on using non-physical punishment as a form of discipline, to use those new skills, apply them to their lives and learn them, and try them out on their children to see what works best for their family. I also encourage parents to learn to calm themselves down and to learn to decrease their stress so that they can appropriately respond to their children's misbehavior. One by one, we can choose not to be part of the 70 to 90% of parents that use physical punishment as a form of discipline. Thank you.